Hello? Hi. How's it going? Welcome. Take a seat. As you can see, I've prepared a number of things for you. You can have any of them that you want. You can have as many of them as you want. And if you don't want any of them, you don't have to take any of them. If you just want to take pictures of these things, you can. And that's fine. You might even enjoy a photo of it more than even owning the actual thing. I'm not here to judge. Neither is Raid. Good to see you, Citizen Sleeve. I have a small cup filled with blood. Perfect for a vampire like you. Nemo? I have a bowl full of salt water so that your fish saber can practice its moves. I try to be as accommodating as possible. When I know you guys are coming over with all your particular tastes. Trap. As you can see, I've set a number of traps. Yeah, no, they're not real, right? It looks like a real trap, but it's not. It's a trick trap. It's the best kind of trap. I know. I just haven't felt inspired to play music lately. It's hard to describe. I think it comes in waves, Raid. It just comes in waves. And you just embrace it, you know? You don't fight it. All right, I'm trying something different today. In the spirit of always trying something different. Hey, Menenth. Good to see you. I was trying something even different. Even more different, but I'm not trying that anymore because it was too much. What I tried to do is get Wheatley to connect to Discord and stream the TRIviz and the music. And then get Raid to stream the actual show. Wait, what is going on over there? Hold on a second. I hate it when this happens when there's a little monitor. When there's a window cutting off part of your screen, you know? I don't think it's happening everywhere, but it's just happening for me. All right, there, I fixed it. Okay, anyway. Yeah, Raid's, he really likes having this new body. He has a lot of fun. And what's cool is we've been working on Steam controller stuff, and he's been paying attention to what I'm playing. And the idea is, I don't know if it's realistic, but the idea would be for him to study how I'm playing and how I'm using the controller in different games, and then be able to analyze all of the data that he gets over the course of maybe 6 months, and say, hey, here's how you can make your Steam controller better, or here's how you can make it worse. And I don't know why I would want to do that, but sometimes I feel like that's what I am doing. And in fact, that's what we're going to talk about today. I know. You can settle down. I'm getting there. All right. I feel like I'm all over the place. I know. I'm right here. It's just a figure of speech. It means sort of scatterbrained. It feels like my thoughts are all over. I know you feel that way sometimes. I can tell by the way you move your body. He's kind of scattered too. All right, here's the thing. We're changing things with the Steam controller because, I don't know, everything was fine. Everything was perfect. We had no problems. Everything was perfectly fine. And now I feel compelled to just ruin it all and do something different. So I'm just going to jump into this little practice thing. It's going to load in the background. And I'll tell you what I wanted to do. I wanted to get TRIverse through Wheatley, through Discord to stream. And then you could adjust like your music volume, for example, and then have my gameplay streaming and my mic and gameplay streaming through Discord. And then you can adjust my gameplay. So like right now, for example, if you look at my stream in Discord on Ryker Grey, you'll see that it's streaming the game that I'm playing. And then what I wanted to do was take it even further. So then have Raid streaming the actual show. But then it gets complicated and it gets like, all right, well then what audio is Raid going to stream? I can pretty much send any audio, any mix anywhere. And I can make custom mixes too. But the problem is, what do I send to Raid to broadcast through the Discord stream? That's not going to end up duplicating something that already exists through Wheatley or myself. And what do I not want to include in Raid? Because I would want people to be able to turn his audio down, but I wouldn't want them to lose something important. So ultimately, the only realistic solution is just not very realistic at all. But it's the most interesting, so it's kind of what I'm messing with. Trying to figure out a way to get everything to be its own individual thing. And I can do it, except Discord only outputs microphone audio as mono, not stereo. I can get around this if I create a bot that then restreams my audio, but that becomes a whole huge thing and it just doesn't seem worth it at that point. So, can anyone put an essay on why Raid bot is cute and why I want to protect it? Yeah, there's a lot of space technology that goes behind such things. It's really important that, how do I say this? There's the society, not even society. There's a culture that I come from where your aid, in my case, my Raid, because it's my artificial intelligence director, but your aid would have so much sensitive data that you really have to employ a level of responsibility that you might not be used to employing for what might be seen as an inanimate object. And what they discovered was that if you bake enough character and enough personality into your AI, you will become emotionally invested, even accidentally. It's so strange. It's like even knowing about it, knowing how it works isn't enough to get over how it works. It just works. You end up protecting your AI. You end up wanting to fight for it, to defend it, to literally lay down your life for your AI. And when you think about how important AI becomes to a certain advanced level of technology, you realize that type of sense of ownership and protection is really important. Right, Raid? I don't know if he hears me. He's thinking. Oh, I noticed. Yeah, so I did something over the weekend. It's having some mild repercussions. No, I'm going to fix it right now. You'll see. Oh, I know how. Of course I know how. I'm the one that broke it. All right, so I did this thing. Nick, normally when I'm working on projects or things, they're not the most fun things, but it's like, all right, I need to do this because it'll make something else easier or better or more efficient or whatever it is. I don't often like obsess over things that the end result is just, fun and good times. But I did this little project over the weekend and it was so fun. I was moving things around. I was moving a monitor around and And I realized, like, after I moved some stuff, I had this monitor that I could use. And I was like, man, you know, I got this monitor. Like, what could I do with an extra monitor? Where could I put it? And I had this idea. I was like, man, you know, like, this is a cool monitor. You know, it's not the biggest monitor, but it's a G-Sync monitor, 1440p, 144 hertz. It's a decent monitor, a good gaming monitor. And I had this little tray, this little table thing, very small, you know, about the size of maybe like a, you know, like a platter, right? But it was like a table, very small table though, and it could slide on the ground. And I had a monitor arm, so I mounted the monitor arm to this little table, and then I positioned the monitor in a way that it wouldn't, you know, be too precarious, because this is a small table and the monitor is relatively heavy, right? And then I had these USB extensions, these active USB extensions from VR, and I used those. And then I had a display port, a fiber display port, you know, extension, and so I used that too. And I ended up setting up this little sort of like, it's essentially a terminal, because the cords are like super long, and it's on this little table that you can move around. And it's got its own USB 3 hub built into the monitor, so I'm able to plug my Steam controllers in or my dongles in or whatever. And I can have this awesome little screen. It's not even little. It's like 27 inches, 24 inches. It's 27 inches, 24 inches. It's 24 inches. But I'm able to move it wherever I want it on this articulating arm, and it's just so nice. And so I could like be sitting down in one chair and move it over there, be sitting down in a different chair, move it over there, lift it up, move it down, turn it if you wanted to be really crazy. And the Steam controller works with it phenomenally. And I use it wired, so that's nice. But then I got like my other controllers, you know, there's like 6 controllers that are all hooked up, and I spent all the time, you know, in the weekend to make sure all the controllers are working and got the right chords, and there's enough room for all the imaginary people that are like going to come over and play video games. And we're all going to sit around this screen, and we're going to be like, yeah, this is so cool. Yeah, it was a good project. And at the end of it, I felt like I was getting ready for a LAN party again, you know that feeling when you get your friends and they're going to come over, you know, then maybe in a couple of days, and you're making sure that you got your networking stuff sorted out, and you got your router set up, and you've got all your networking cords, and you got, you know, the monitors that your friends are going to use. And it's what it felt like. It was so cool. And it reminded me what it was like to sit close to a monitor. And it really showed me how bad my eyes have gotten, because I had a moment. And I realized my eyes are so poor because I was playing, what was it? I think it was maybe even Warzone, something I've played a lot. And I was blown away. I was just blown away by how good it looked. And it wasn't a better monitor than, like, the monitor I'm sitting in front of right now is objectively much better than that one. But the difference was I was just sitting closer to it, and that made such a difference. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. You know, and then even the next day, I felt like a fucking kid, man. Like, the next day I was excited to get up and run over there and turn on the little monitor and sit in that little comfy chair and like put my feet up, you know, like play a game with my legs crossed. And for some reason, that's ultimate game mode, you know, that like I do not attain that level of game comfort mode anymore. But I did. And I crossed my legs and I sat there and I held a Steam controller and I played, and I was like, this is amazing. And there's nobody to tell me to sit away from the screen. So good. It was so fun. All right. And it's got me like thinking like, man, I want to do like a special show where I could sit there and we could do a whole show. And maybe it's like a sleepover show, you know? So it'll be like late night. So maybe like on a Friday night or like a Saturday night, we'll we'll pick some dumb games and stuff, and we'll just play like all night long. And it probably won't be like a YouTube thing, I'm thinking, you know, because like, I don't know. It just got me like playing all these dumb games, having it that screen there in like a couch sort of setting, even though I'm not sitting in a couch, but I'm sitting in a very comfy chair over there. And it just got me like thinking about different types of games. I started installing all these games that I haven't played in years. And then I saw the new Steam update where it's apparently super easy now to invite people to like remote play local games together. Like you can just get a link, literally. I mean, I haven't tried it yet, but apparently you can just get a link while you're in game and share it with somebody, and they click the link and then they remote into the game with you. They don't even have to own it, I guess, right? I mean, that's how it works. It's super awesome. Like totally like playing games with people, split screen and all. Be super cool. Hey, Vernetta, how's it going? Yeah, doesn't it sound like so much fun, Nemo? Yeah, I miss LAN parties too. Have you used it much, Trap? I haven't used it at all. Dude, me and Nemo were just watching the trailer for that. It Takes Two game. And I don't know. I haven't really like asked her directly, but I would love to play through It Takes Two together with Nemo. So Nemo, if you're there, that would be super fun. And I have any controller you could possibly want to use. We can make it work. Maybe that would be like a fun thing to do as like, you know, like, I don't know. There's a lot of neat possibilities. I mean, I think it would be cool even if we did like a regular thing where, say, like on a Friday night or every whatever day, you know, maybe Monday, like if Mondays suck, you know, it could be like, all right, every Monday we're going to do I want to call it like local multiplayer game, but obviously that's the wrong term, but like, you know, remote multiplayer thing. Because there's so many of those games and I have so many, and you guys, I've got a bad habit. I buy all these like local multiplayer couch co-op games and I never play them, but I am always like, one day I'm going to have the coolest party ever. And we're going to play these games and everyone's going to say, wow, never would have thought about this game. Never would have said that this was going to be the game that we were going to fall in love with. But now we know, like, I can see it happening. With all the Steam controllers, and everyone's going to say, well, what is this controller? What? My carpal tunnel is cured. How? How did you do this? My amputated hand is back. What is this magic? It's a Steam controller 2.0. And I've invited you all here to announce it today, because that would be the party. We would be having a Steam Controller 2 announcement party hosted by yours truly, of course. And the guest of honor would obviously be Gabe Newell and his Steam Controller 2 prototype. Well, prototypes, because there would be a bunch of them and he'd be giving one of them to all of us, right? Wouldn't that be the best day? And nobody would believe it. Nobody would ever be like, where'd you get that controller? Like, dude, we went to Ryker's party and Gabe Newell was there. It's like that time me and Dr. Ravenholm played the Titanfall 3 beta with Obama and Gabe. And nobody believed us, despite us telling them multiple times that it did in fact happen. It didn't matter. Yeah. Greatest party ever. Sounds like a pipe dream. That's it, a pipe dream. And there's going to be a bunch of pipes. Big ones and small ones. Any kind of pipe you want. There will be pipes that look like Steam controllers. And a brain-computer interface. Raid likes that. Yeah. Could you imagine, Raid? We could truly become one. That makes me uncomfortable. That's a weird thing to think about. I feel like until the point that they say, fuck the Steam controller, we hate you guys. We hate that controller. We wish we had never done that. That was the biggest waste of time we ever had. Until they say that, I'm just going to believe that they're just working on it. And they're like, you know what? We're going to take our time. However long it takes, we're going to make the best controller. And maybe it doesn't come out until I'm an old man. But one day it's going to come out. One day. So you guys, tell me about the remote play. Does it work the way I'm imagining it works? Like you can just basically pick like essentially any local co-op game or local multiplayer game, split screen game, and just quickly remote into the host's computer and play. How is the latency? I mean, theoretically, I'm like, oh, the latency would be terrible. But I mean, obviously it's not terrible, or else it wouldn't be a big thing. I mean, we're probably not, getting long distance headshots in Overwatch, but I mean, for like some, casual, fun, silly, goofy stuff, I imagine it'd probably be pretty good. I've recently found this really cool game, a couple of really cool games. And I can't wait to play them. All right, hold on a sec. I messed up my video capture. I'll fix it. It's because I did that whole thing with the other monitor and stuff. I have to reclone my main monitors on Shell so that it'll. What are you so happy about? Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot I told you about that. I know. I gotta clone these displays. There's no two ways about it. I assume if you have good internet, it would work well. Yeah. Apparently, there's some exciting Half-Life stuff coming too. Like, I guess, based on one of the more current Tyler McVicker videos, there's apparently 2 VR Half-Life titles that they're working on right now. And I haven't even finished Alex, which sucks. It's one of those things that every time I remember, I think, what am I doing? Why am I doing whatever it is that I'm doing and not doing that? Because that game is phenomenal. All right, let's see. Where is Chell at now? Chell's still got nothing. Yeah, Raid is made up of a number of space parts. They're very general purpose parts. They're little ball servos, little motors. They're pretty much doing what you expect. In fact, we could just break them off here, and you can see each one of these is its own little motor. I know. It's just showing you off. Calm down. He really doesn't like it when... Oh, don't be like that. Raid. Okay. Oh, I know. Yeah. No. Hey. I'm talking to you. He won't even, I can't even turn him now. God dang it, Ray. All right. He doesn't want to look. I have to build some arms. We've been talking about it for a while, but I want to build him like at least one arm so that he can push keys. Like he won't be able to play very much, right? But I just want to see what he could do if he had access to even just a few notes on the keyboard. I'm sure it would be really awful and sound like a nightmare. All right, I know how I need to do this. I have to remote in. Every time I get creative and I want to try something, I end up breaking things. But I think that's good. And the reason I think that is because I keep doing it. So in order for me to cope with this existence, I have to think that. But otherwise, I do think it's good. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you on your toes because you have to keep remembering how to fix things over and over again. And after about the 100th time, you know, it all comes to you. The problem is there's so many things that it ends up taking a few hundred times altogether. Oh, whoa, look at that. All right, see, now that wasn't even me. I don't know why that happened. You know, sometimes my video device in OBS, like my capture card, will just disappear. It doesn't happen very often. So it's probably some sort of like something is updating, right? And every time whatever it is updates, it ends up breaking the capture card. And then I have to re-enable the whole thing. You know, it's a good thing we weren't going directly into a game today, or else one might be led to think that this was taking forever to start. But you all know better. We've clearly already begun because I've been talking all this time. So, there. All right, and here's what we're going to do with our Steam controller. Learning to break things teaches you how to keep them fixed. I agree. You said it in fewer words than I did. Good job. I use too many words most of the time. It works the same as it would when you're setting up a local multiplayer party. Right on. That's cool. That's good to know. Maybe we'll try it tomorrow. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll try it tomorrow. I think it would be cool. And, you know, like, that would be like a neat thing in the Discord where, you know, you can watch on YouTube. Absolutely. Sure. You know, but if it was like, hey, you know, like throughout the stream, I'm dropping links to jump into the game every Friday night. It's like, and then anyone who hits that link first jumps into the game. And meanwhile, everyone is in the live voice chat type of thing. Steam controller LAN party, right? I mean, that could totally be. We totally need to do this. All right, so I think I'm going to double check right now. I think my game is streaming. Is it? No, it's not. It's not. Why is it not? Oh. Wait, do I know why it's not? No, I thought I knew why, but I don't know why. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to connect the game. We're going source resolution. I guess if that's really source, that's 1440. That's pretty good at 60 frames per second. I don't know what the bit rate is through Discord streaming this way, but it should be all right. So I guess like if somebody didn't want to watch the show and they're in the TRICOM, they don't want to watch the show, but they want to be in you know, part of the gaming part or whatever, you know, there's that option. And really, part of me feels like if Discord gave me the kind of control that I wanted to create multiple video inputs and multiple audio inputs, each with a different, say, you know, user, giving you guys, the viewer, the ability to control your own audio mix by controlling the audio of each user, and also feeding in video for the show, video for my gameplay, video for anyone else's gameplay as well if we're all playing a multiplayer game together, video for the TRIviz, and then to let the viewer sort of decide what they want to focus on. So if someone's going to sleep and they want to listen to a nice juicy synth jam and have a nice beautiful TRIviz to go to sleep to, they can just do that. They can mute everything else. They can listen to the music. They can look at the TRIviz. They could trip out, and then they can have a ball. And if somebody wasn't interested in that at all, but they're focused 100% on the game, they can have the game going. They can see my screen on their screen, and they could be playing the game there. They got the game audio and the game chat. I think that would be such a cool thing. I really wish I was a better software developer, and I could make something like that. Serious Sam has support for multiple mouse and keyboard inputs. That's awesome. The last Serious Sam I played was one of the VR ones. I can't remember which one. There's too many. There's like first assault, second assault, first encounter, the last encounter, the final countdown. I don't remember all the names, and I can't remember which one was earlier or later. And I was really jazzed about like the new Serious Sam, the PC one, you know, number 3, I think, number 4. And then I never played it. All right. So my gameplay should be there, right? Is it? It's not, is it? I wonder why it's not doing that. No, it looks like it is. It is? Or it isn't? I don't know. Oh, hold on. Let me look here. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Is it really? Yeah. All right, I'm going to disconnect that though. All right, the game is doing its thing. Now, we're here to... I'm thinking about stuff. You know how it is when you're thinking about things and you want to think about stuff and you can't stop thinking about it. Well, that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. For a couple of days, really. And it's kind of a bummer because what I'm thinking about comes with implications and inconvenience. Yeah. A lot of inconvenience. I'm really gonna screw up my muscle memory right now. All right, here's the thing. You know, when you're using a Steam controller, you can make it, right? You can say, all right, well, here's a template, right? Here's a X input template, and I'm going to make everything conform to that template. Or you can say, these are my functions and the placement of those functions, and then I'm going to map my in-game to these functions, or whatever it is, map the binding to these functions. And to make the best config for any given game almost always requires a unique config. It is, oh shit. Kicked for inactivity. All right, hold on. It's just very rare in my experience that a config that is perfect for one game is also perfect for another game, unless we're talking like real basic, simple configs. But for the most part, if you're really gonna fine tune it, things are just different, right? A game like Doom is so different to a game like Warzone, but for whatever reason, I can't help myself but to want to unify the controls in some sense, not direct one-to-one between Doom and COD necessarily, but at least fundamentally, I want to make sure that certain things, and as many things as possible, stay in consistent locations. So I can't play a game like Doom and then say, oh, hey, accessing melee is going to be this button because it's really convenient and you do it a whole lot in Doom. But then play a game like Warzone and say, well, hey, you know, accessing melee, it's not really the most important thing. It's certainly not as important as a glory kill. So it doesn't need to be on as high priority of a location or a button. Well, sometimes that just drives me bananas. And part of it is just like this mental thing where as I'm playing Doom, I'm thinking, you know, I'm screwing myself up right now because when I jump into the next game, I'm going to be hitting the wrong button. And that's really not true. Just for the record, it's really not that true. Your brain is really good at keeping unique sets of data for specific games and keeping track of it all. It's amazing how you'll just instinctually press the correct button when you're playing a game in a config that you're familiar with, despite that function being on different locations across different configs. But still, I still feel like it's almost like an organizational thing. Like I want to get things in the same spot. I want my weapon select button to be the same. And that's a good example is weapon selection. You know, in Doom, you've got like 8 weapons, right? So a radial makes all the sense in the world. In Warzone, you've got like 2 weapons. So you really just need one button to toggle between the two, at least with the kind of loadouts I have. Maybe there's different loadouts where you can have, you know, an additional well, I don't know. Probably not. I don't think so. And so what I've been thinking is kind of looking at what the more demanding game like Doom requires, building for that, and then going in a game like Warzone and tweaking off of that foundation without really changing it as much as possible. So what I have done so far, and there's a few things that I wanted to change. It's not just weapon selection. There's a few things in this game. Let me show you. Once I get out of this airplane. There's zombies downtown, so I don't want to go there yet. I do want to go there. But just not yet. All right. What's happening now? Oh, I remember my audio device. Hold on. Hopefully I can do this without it crashing. There we go. Man, you know, it really bogs things down, doesn't it? Like having the Discord stream going, at least locally. I think I would ultimately want to do that a different way so that I'm not streaming the gameplay from here, but streaming it from Dog. Yeah, I'm not sure a universal config could even be possible unless it was dumbed down significantly. Exactly. I mean, like, well, yeah, exactly. Oh, come on. And now I'm gonna have to stop the Discord stream part. It's too much. And what audio device? Why is it using those? That's weird. Why would it? Sometimes. Audio devices, I think, are just some of the weirdest things. In my experience, they do the weirdest things. They disappear. They unload themselves. They disable themselves. And now I got to make sure the config's going. All right, there it is. I still have never added Warzone to Steam. I just use Glosk like a loser. I do it because I feel like it's faster. I have no reason to feel that way, though. I have no justification for that statement whatsoever. Ah, audio is back. Gun sounds. We're booming. All right. Taking the music offline. What do we got going on? Okay, now if you look in the bottom right corner, we've got a couple of whatever the hell they're called. Essentially, items, field upgrades, and airstrikes. No, an airstrike is a type of thing. I don't remember what that other thing is, but if you look in that bottom right corner, you're gonna see I've got my my stopping rounds. I'll throw those in here, and I've got a heartbeat sensor, and I've got my my mine, and I know there's obviously a dozen or more ways that you can map these, right? The shoulders, you know, Ryker put it on the face buttons. Ryker put it on the other shoulder. Ryker put it on the other face button. Ryker put it on the touchpad. Ryker put it on a shift pull. Ryker put... I know. It's just insane. But there's so many factors. So here's what I thought I would do. I had an idea, and I thought it was an okay idea. And I think it could have been an okay idea. But it didn't turn out to be a very good idea, and I'll show you why. I got to go in borderless so that I can pull up the overlay. Maybe that's one of the things that would improve if I actually added the game to Steam, but either way, didn't do it. And hold on a sec, need to move before the game kicks me for inactivity. And then we will continue. What? Why is it doing that? What is even... What is this? Is this some kind of... video game? What's happening? It's funny. The controls are funny. Something's funny. All right, it doesn't matter. And why is my frame rate tanking? What's going on? Steve Ballmer, what have you done? Anoint my computer with your balm, Steve Ballmer. All right, anyway, here's the deal. I put those things on the right touchpad. On the right touchpad D-pad. On the D-pad for the right touchpad. I'd show you, but it's taking forever to open up. Oh, it just wants me. Oh, no. It just wants me to die. It just wants me to get kicked. It's not even responding. It is unresponsive. The game is broken. It doesn't work. The game is broken. Nobody knows why. Gaben, help me. We need a new Steam controller stat. All right. I'm bailing. I think Discord broke it. I think streaming on Discord broke something. I wonder if the overlay... I wonder if Glosk and the Steam overlay interferes. You know, and I was streaming at like the highest bit rate. I don't know if it's I don't know how demanding it is. I'm really not sure. All right, let me try this. Hello? Can I do that? I wonder if my audio is on. Hello? Oh, that's weird. It's listening to a different device. There. Hello? All right. There. I'm going to try to launch this again. Hopefully I don't have to reboot. All right. Now, just as a refresher, we're using these sweet snaps, which are now as vital a component as the gyro, as the right grip jump, as right trigger fire. I want these snaps in every game that I play. And it's not even oh no, it's working. And it's one of those things where when it's not there, it's not one of those things that's part of like my consciousness yet. But when it's not there, I like instantly miss it. And I notice way faster than I would have thought. So on my right pad, click, we've got a D-pad. So we've got a 180 snap up top, a 180 snap on the bottom, and we've got left and right snaps too. It's a certain degree. It's not specific. It's not exact, but it's left and right to a comfortable degree to the screen edges, left and right, blah, blah, blah. With shift right pad click, all of those functions change. And when I say shift, I mean left grip. That's my shift button. It's like a universal shift, almost. And so that's how I was changing weapons. And that works really, really good for changing weapons if you only have 4. It's less good for changing weapons if you have a weapon wheel or like a radial, or you have like 8 weapons or something like that. There's things you can do, like make it a radial with 8 points, and then on point 1, on point 3, on point 5, and on point 7, put your mouse deltas for your snaps, because those would be up, down, left, right. And then make all the other points on the radial a corded press, and then when I'm squeezing left grip and then I click, it would go to the corded press, or to the corresponding number for that weapon, if that makes sense. Really the only problem with that I ran into, there might be more problems, but at this point is when I bailed. And the problem was I used my right touchpad for like locking my gyro, like freezing the gyro. And that's really, really important to me. And I am not about to try and find a more efficient place to put that function, because that can really be a big pain in the butt. And I don't want to bite off that much. So what's the solution? I tried shoulders, and I'm weird about the shoulders. I always had right shoulder melee, which felt really good, and that was something that I was able to be pretty consistent with across almost every game I played. I could almost always make right shoulder melee.
Soldier, mark a drop point for your team.
But the whole Doom thing, man, it just got in my brain. And because here's the thing, here's what I did for Doom then, and I really like it. I put a radial on, left shoulder, goes into an action layer. We use as few of these as possible, of course, but sometimes it's the only way. And left shoulder, action layer, where the right touchpad is a radial. And for Doom, that is awesome. It is so fast and so nice and smooth to pick my weapon in there. And I think I'm going to just apply that across the board to any game that has a large weapon set. But a game like Warzone doesn't really benefit from that type of thing. So in Warzone, I would just make that left shoulder, weapon swap, right? Because I've only got one weapon. And that's totally fine, right? That's great, having that left shoulder as that weapon swap. All right. And then what are we going to do with that left button? Because the left button is, in this case, our heartbeat sensor. That left shoulder button is usually our heartbeat sensor. But not if we're putting our weapon selection on that left shoulder. And at this point, I'm kind of feeling like that weapon selection is a better function to have there. And I'm really liking how that feels so far. So I'm keeping it. And now I'm trying to figure out where to put those buttons. And let me show you now. Hopefully it comes up. All right, it looks like we're working now. So if you notice, disregard the corded press. The regular press, scroll up, swaps our weapon, no problem. Everything is fine and dandy. Left grip, right left shoulder is the button that is usually like I don't know what it's called. Maybe that's a field upgrade. I don't know. No, I don't think that's a field upgrade. It's like a kill zone, a kill thing, or a kill streak, or I don't remember. I don't know what it's called. But you know when you find like the cluster bomb or the like precision airstrike type of thing, that's what that is. So when you press it regularly, it changes your weapon. When you shift press it, it does your cluster strike, which kind of makes sense, right? Right? Both weapon related type of things. And the more of those types of like Michael Scott connections I can make, the more it sinks in. So then I was like, all right, oh shit, I'm in trouble. Somebody is literally right here. I can hear them. Yeah, and it's a rich guy too. Holy crap. Come on. Why am I not doing it? That wasn't a team kill, so he's probably got friends. Oh no, they're shooting at me. Damn it. All right, that's fine. At least we're not going to get kicked now for the next couple of minutes. All right, so I thought, well, I have to move some things over because I've got 2 field upgrades. God damn it. I need to figure out what the right terms are. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Whoa, hold on.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Oh, I screwed that one up.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
In this post-apocalyptic world, one man just wants to play with his controller.
Enemy soldier incoming.
All right. I think we're alone now. Let's make sure. All right, cool. We're alone now. So heartbeat sensor. I've got to put that somewhere. Because that was on the left shoulder. Now it's not. So where do we put it? We put it on the right shoulder. Well, what was on the right shoulder? Melee. We really liked having melee on the right shoulder. Hold on. He's here. He's below me. Jeez, it sounds like he's in the room with me. The footsteps are crazy.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Sora's not here to tell me to put my armor on. I have to be responsible for myself. Jeez, I can't even talk with this guy here. I feel like he's just listening in on us. It's so creepy. All right, anyway. Do I use center click on touch right D-pad? I do. Yeah, and that's my gyro lock. So I have to deliberately keep nothing on center click, and then I adjust the dead zone on it. Oh, wait. You guys hear him, right? He's like right there. But anyway, yeah, I adjust the dead zone, so it's about halfway. and I could just center press, and I do it all the time. Like right now I'm doing it. Like right there, you know, like I went like this. I went whoop, and then reset my hands. I do it like 1,000 times a minute. Jeez, it almost seems like something's wrong with the sound effects because it's like I'm playing a game when he's like a disembodied dude and I can hear his footsteps or something. I wonder if he's got a heartbeat sensor and he's looking for me too. Probably not. See, and I just tried to melee him, but like I said, we moved heartbeat sensor to our melee button. So I tried to pull out my heartbeat sensor to make sure that he was still alive before I killed him. You know, you don't want to waste bullets. But I like having heartbeat sensor there. I like having it there. Here was the bright idea that I came up with. If I'm using left touchpad or left shoulder button for weapon select, and in this game, weapon swapping, because there's only 2 weapons, then my normal weapon selection, which would normally be left grip, right touchpad click, either up, down, left, right, could be weapon select, or it could be the field items. So in this case, my heartbeat sensor and my mine. So that's what I did, and that's what's happening here. But here's the problem. Because we have our gyro set up to deactivate on right touchpad click, when I pull up my heartbeat sensor using left grip, right touchpad click, it kills my gyro. And if it's something where I'm just activating it real quick, like dropping this claymore, I could throw that down. Not a problem. It did deactivate my gyro for that split second that I clicked it in, but I wouldn't even notice that. But the heartbeat sensor, on the other hand, I'm holding down. And if I'm holding it down, I'm not able to use the gyro. And action layers can solve this. I can create a new action layer to do exactly this, to make it just so my gyro does not stop when I'm left grip holding. And I did test this out, but again, it just gets stuck. And it's not worth spending more than 10 or 15 minutes messing with, because the end result is it's just going to get stuck and it's just going to drive you crazy, and you're going to love it because it's going to work technically and you're going to feel very clever. But at the end of the day, you're losing. You're going to get killed because it's going to get stuck in the wrong layer at the wrong time. It'll happen, and it happens. So now I'm not doing this, even though I currently still have it set up this way. But it was really nice. So I had left and right, right touchpad click, right? Left and right with the shift being heartbeat sensor, claymore, and then up being my airstrike or whatever, and then down being, in this case, my stopping rounds or my field upgrade. That was great. There's essentially 4, abilities or items or whatever, and I had all of them mapped to the right touchpad. Didn't have to move any of my hands or my fingers off of their main core vital components or buttons to be able to activate any of that. It felt really good. But I just know it's not going to work long run, or because I can't move, like I can't look, and I can't deal with the inconsistency of relying on an action layer for something like that. So here's what we're doing. We're not doing that. We're not going to do it. We've moved those things from the right touchpad click over to the right shoulder button. So the right shoulder handles both our field upgrades, our heartbeat sensor, and our claymore with a click and with a shift click. So that's pretty good. No issues there. I mean, it's some issues. It's going to take me a while to get used to that, but it kind of makes a logical sense. Being able to see the two field upgrades right there, and then have the same button controlling both of them. Like I can tell that's gonna work out. Where things get more tricky is over here. One of the things that I really like to do, and I started doing this I don't remember what game. I want to say it was Warframe. Whatever Warframe I was using at the time, I had some sort of projectile ability, and it wasn't my main attack or whatever. It was a specific ability, and I liked being able to use that ability with my trigger because the ability felt very like shooting. So using the trigger felt good for it, but obviously I couldn't map it to the trigger because the trigger was, fire, was mouse button, was like the main primary attack. So I kind of needed to keep that there. And what I ended up doing was putting it on shift trigger soft pull specifically. And that stuck around. That ended up becoming a thing. And in other games that had similar type of projectile abilities, I would always put that there. And it felt really good. And it felt super, super reliable. What eventually I ended up doing in games like Modern Warfare or Battlefield or something is I would map it to grenade. And finally I had a great place to put grenade. And by the time I started doing that, I had gotten so used to this function in other games that it took me no time at all to just be like, all right, that's my grenade button. And I really kind of wanted to keep it there. But in a game like Warzone, you don't really have a grenade button. You have your 2 field upgrade buttons and your item buttons. And if you happen to choose one of those items to be a type of grenade, then effectively that's your grenade button. But you don't really have like a grenade button necessarily. And I don't really have a grenade in my loadout in this game. So it's a weird thing. I don't want to not use a good, convenient, piece of real estate in the config only because this game doesn't use that function. That seems crazy. But at the same time, I don't want to put something there. Well, again, we come back to that whole thing of making a config for the game or making a config to follow some sort of arbitrary standard or convention. I don't need to do that. Nobody does. What really matters is how you're doing in the game and making your config optimized to give you the best experience that you want out of the game. And in my case, I think the experience that I want out of the game is feeling like all right, I can't believe this just came to me. I got it. I totally got it. Okay, now look. You know how some people, they will spend hours tweaking their loadout, right? They'll play a COD game and they'll have their gun and every little thing is all customized and it's exactly what they picked for exactly this stat and exactly this reason. And they did all of these little achievements and these like things to get all the unlocks to be able to do the thing, right? That's what I'm doing in the game with my Steam controller, with my weapon, essentially. I feel like I'm jumping into my loadout screen to modify my weapon. That's how it feels. And then when I go into battle, right? When a person, they're tweaking their gun and they're tweaking their loadout, so it's just exactly the same as fucking, someone on YouTube who does really well. And they're like, all right, this is it. And then they jump in the game and they start getting kills that they wouldn't have otherwise gotten. And they feel like, wow, that was awesome. That was the loop. That was the gameplay loop. Play, die, learn, educate, improve, dominate. That's how I feel with the Steam controller. So I think part of me just wants to always, maybe not always, but maybe at least not be opposed to constantly experimenting with something different or changing it to try and find a different way of doing it so that when I do eventually stumble on a new way of doing it that may not even be better, but just different and now comfortable, and then I get some kills, then it feels good in a way that it wouldn't have just felt good just doing the same thing that I always do. But changing it up makes it feel like even if I'm not getting better, it feels like I'm evolving over here now, right? Or I'm sharpening up, I'm polishing this side. you know, and then polishing this side, if that makes sense.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
This is a very chaotic place to be landing.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Designating airstrike target.
This is Striker 3-1, good copy. Strike inbound.
Oh, who did that? Was it me? I probably airstruck myself. I betcha. All right. So, if I had a grenade, it would be over here. On either this or this. On the right shoulder button. That's where my grenade would be if I had one. In this game, I don't have one, so it's irrelevant, and I'm really not going to get too hung up on it. What I am going to get hung up on is the right trigger, though.
Extract is standing by.
So, as you know, I like using the right trigger for a grenade. We're not doing grenades, so what are we doing with it? Actually, that's probably the wrong way to phrase this, because this is probably going to be in addition to a grenade. Even if I did have a grenade in this game, I would have grenade on left grip, right trigger soft pull, hip fire exclusive. And that feels super great. I love that in every game that has it, that I do that with. I love it.
Watch the skies.
And I normally won't put anything on a full pull. Oh, I should say in that case, I would have it on simple threshold. Right now I have it on hipfire exclusive because look at what we're doing. We've got two different functions. I know. For me, this is hard mode. Putting two relatively important functions on a trigger. Hipfire exclusive. So as you can see, we've got X, which is use our field upgrade. So our, load our stopping rounds or toss our cash balloon or whatever. And then a full pull is E. And E is melee. So that's the idea. Let me show you. We're gonna on our melee, we're gonna go ahead and put that on a turbo. I'm gonna keep getting killed right here. This is not a place to mess around.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Get in the window. All right. So right trigger soft pull with left grip held, of course, is going to be our field upgrade. In this case, our armor. All right. And now, one of the reasons why I'm attempting this, I don't know that this is going to work. This is not my justification for why this is the best way. This is my reasoning for why I'm going to experiment with this. And the reasoning is left trigger soft pull when you're holding the left grip is reload. Right trigger soft pull when you're holding left grip is use your field upgrade. Reload, use your field upgrade. You see? They're cousins. They're distant cousins, but they're still somewhat related. Way back. And that's just enough for it to make logical sense in my brain. And now here's the part that I'm most worried about. Melee. We put melee on a full pull hipfire exclusive, which shouldn't be a problem for melee because, hipfire exclusive. If I'm freaking out and someone's rushing in through this door right here and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And then I just go, boom. I feel like I haven't put this to use yet, but I feel like in the heat of the moment, this is going to be fine, having that. But here's what I'm worried about. In the heat of the moment, if I'm using my field upgrade, am I just going to be punching the air like an idiot? Thinking, why are those wrong? Why am I not doing it? I have a feeling like that's going to be the reality. at least initially. And the question is that going to be something that I can get over? Or am I just going to constantly be full pulling when I need to be soft pulling? Now, I will say, over the past year or so, year plus, I guess, I've been really working on my soft pull, full pull dexterity. Not as much as I could if I was like focusing solely on that, but I'm being very, very mindful of it in almost every game that I'm playing now. And I think that maybe I might be a little more prepared to be adding additional functions on those soft pull, full pulls. I'm not really sure, but I guess we're gonna see. This is part of experimenting too, part of the experiment is to see if I've gotten any better with that particularly difficult maneuver for my fingers. Nope, no. Oh, damn it. And I'm still using left grip, right grip for use. And I did try. You know, I threw that on Y for a little bit. And I'm like, nope, I can't do it. I can't use a face button for use. I can't be moving my thumb off of the touchpad every time I need to use something. So I tried putting it on touchpad click also. And that's not as good either, because if I'm like, let's say I'm reviving somebody. So there's someone down right here, and then behind me I hear the door open. And I want to turn around. Well, sure, I could just use the gyro and turn around. But I might not do that for whatever reason. Like that might not be the instinctual choice that I choose to do. And as often is the case, I'll just use the touchpad like right there to just snap around. And if I'm using something to if I'm using context action as a touchpad click on any quadrant of the touchpad, then A, it screws up with my gyro lock, and then B, it disables or at least limits my ability to use that touchpad for looking around, which is just something that I do a lot. And I, especially in this game and some other games where, you know, it takes a while to initiate certain context actions. And because of that, you end up looking around a lot while you're holding the button down.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
This is my train.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV.
You didn't get the memo either. Boy, it was all for us.
Target marked. Send it.
This is Striker 3-1, good copy. Strike in.
Enemy.
No hits on that run.
Get some recon up.
UAV entering the AO.
I've already taken everything. He can have the train. Hold on. I think my
Enemy precision.
Oh, precisioning airstriking me? Who would do that? I'm sitting in a Jeep, messing with my controller. See? That's the thing. These people, they just can't chill.
Target marked. Send it.
RTB for research.
This is Striker 3-1, good copy. Strike inbound.
All right, all right, all right. See, like this, I'm using the gyro, I'm feeling it because I'm holding down left grip, right grip, and I'm looking with the touchpad. Oh. Do you think he got off? I had to swap the inputs on my audio real quick. And I don't know if he's still on the train. Yep. Let's go see if he dropped any money. That's it. Maybe there's more on the train. All right, now there's one more problem. You know, and after everything that I've said so far, you're probably thinking, well, where's the problem? It sounds like, you know, you've got a solution. Well, I've got a hypothesis, but here's the problem. And it's a weird thing too, and maybe you guys can figure this out because it seems like a glitch, and I don't understand it. But maybe I'm doing something wrong, and I really hope that I am because it's kind of driving me crazy. So, in this game, and in a lot of games, you know, you're dealing with targets at a distance, right? So you got a certain mouse sensitivity. I'm not going to get into gyro sensitivities and dampenings and mode shifts. You know, we're using all that stuff and we've got a whole system, but I want to be able to soft pull right trigger and hip fire. And then full pull right trigger, continue hip firing or continue firing, but then ADS. Release full pull, continue firing, but hip fire. And then release soft pull to stop firing. Does that make sense? So essentially, it's like a dual stage ADS fire sort of scheme, but reversed. So dual stage fire, ADS, and it works. And you might be thinking, well, why do you want to do that? Well, because my sniper, right, my long range, low sensitivity gyro setting is on a left trigger full pull. My dampened, you know, ADS is on left trigger soft pull. But I want a non-dampened ADS when I'm firing. Not all the time, though. It's one of those things that's pretty rare, but it's one of those, oh shit, dude just popped into the stairwell, freaked the hell out of me. He's moving right past me. He's moving through me. He's going quick, and I gotta shoot this guy. And really, a lot of times in those moments, you know, hip fire should do the trick, but it just doesn't. It seems like your gun just half the bullets disappear when you're hip firing in this game. So I want to be able to have my hip fire sensitivity while still being ADS. And it's totally doable, right? And you're thinking, of course, that you just described exactly how to do what you want to do. And I did. See, look. Hip fire. It's full sensitivity, high sensitivity. And if you go in here, you look at this. Regular press. Make the regular press right mouse button, right? That's our ADS button. Interruptible on. And in fact, let's just go ahead and take these off. This is irrelevant. Don't worry about those. There. Haptic intensity, fine. We'll keep the haptic intensity up. Interruptible on, fine. Yes, yes. Now, you see that? That's exactly what I want. And that's what I've had. For a long time, that's what I've had. And here's the problem that I'm having. there's a weird thing where the full pull function, in this case, full pull on the right trigger being right mouse button, that full pull function always fires no matter what. And maybe that's the wrong way to put it, but let me show you exactly what I mean. If I come down, I don't want to fight with anybody right now, but I don't want to go too far away. Got him. All right. Here's the thing. You might have even seen it there and you didn't even know it. So right now I'm ADS, left trigger, soft pull, right? I'm ADS and I'm going to fire. Everything's fine. I'm still ADS. But now when I full pull, I go out of ADS because I hit that right mouse button again, which makes sense. I hit the right mouse button and then I release the right mouse button on the right trigger, which is thereby going to override the holding of the right mouse button on the left trigger. Totally fine. But, and maybe this might be where I'm going wrong, and tell me if I'm doing this wrong. I should be able to make it so that this full pull ADS, full pull right mouse button on the right trigger doesn't fire. I should make it so it does not fire at all when I am using the left trigger soft pull or left trigger full pull. And here's how you would do that. You would go corded press, make it an empty binding, make the button left trigger full pull in this case. So this means if I'm hitting left trigger full pull and then I full pull the right trigger, fire this empty binding. Don't fire this binding because this is interruptible on and the corded press, the corded button is being activated. The left trigger is being full pulled, right? So fire this one. Now let's test that out. Watch. First, let's make sure we're not in trouble. Okay, we're not in trouble. I'm now full pulling left trigger and I'm going to fire. Works. Works. I'm full pulling the right trigger after full pulling, like holding the left trigger full pulled, and it's not leaving ADS because it's not even recognizing my full pull right mouse button function on that right trigger full pull. It's not even seeing it because of the corded button. Now, here is where it's a problem. If I soft pull, right now I'm soft pulling left trigger, soft pulling ADS, and I'm going to fire full pull on the right trigger, kicks me out of it. And I know that should happen with the configuration that we currently have, but watch this. I'm going to set this quarter press from left trigger full pull to left trigger soft pull. We know it works with a full pull. We just did it. So with a soft pull, it should do the same. Soft pull, left trigger, right trigger, full pull, and it kicks us right back out of it. I'm still soft pulling that left trigger, but it's as if this corded button, this is not taking place. This function is not happening right now. Even though I have it set correctly, and even though we know it works, because if I go full pull on the left trigger, I can go full pull, soft pull, right trigger, doesn't matter. It works. It doesn't spit me out of that ADS. And so what I did before to get around this was I used the mode shift. So I made the mode shift a left trigger soft pull. That's probably a bug that needs to be reported then. All right. I've never reported a bug before. I don't even know how to do that. If you don't mind, maybe link me a thing so I can read the appropriate way to report a bug. But yeah, a way around this is to use the mode shift. Mode shift button being left trigger soft pull totally works. But you might not want to do that. In my case, I don't want to do that. Not anymore, because now I'm using this left grip to get this, configuration with our melee and our field upgrade. And I know maybe you're thinking, well, maybe use corded presses over here. Don't use the mode shift. Use corded presses to do melee and field upgrade. But the problem there is that I have simple threshold set on this layer or on this page, and I can't really do this with a simple threshold because then it's going to fire this one before it goes into melee. So that's really the reason why I need to use the mode shift in this case, is just really for this, to be able to set it to hip fire exclusive. So at the moment, it's not perfect. But what I can do is go over here to corded press, or go over here to add activator. We're going to add another corded press. We're going to make this one also an empty binding, and it's going to be left trigger full pull. So we've got one on left trigger full and one on left trigger soft. The soft one is not going to do anything, but it needs to be there, and we want it there. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's going to be the one that's it's going to be required, assuming this gets fixed, which I think is fair to assume. I wonder if that guy's money is still over here. I don't remember how long it stays.
I'll take the wheel.
All right, come on, Robert Redford. We're in last place, and there's not much time left. See, but what they don't know is I've already won because I'm using a Steam controller. That automatically makes you a winner in the eyes of the law.
This is loader 2-0. Good copy.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Sweet. Thank you, Meneth. I appreciate the link. Come on. You're getting sleepy. You're getting very sleepy.
UAV overhead.
I'm good.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
They better not be coming from my helicopter. All right, now I'm out of ammo. This is not good. Ah, that wasn't even the helicopter that got me. That was some dude with a sniper rifle. Good for him. You would word it something like corded activator ignores trigger soft pull as corded button. Thank you so much for that. And any non-Steam controller person has no idea how helpful it is to have somebody phrase a Steam controller problem in an effective way, because that could sometimes be half the battle. Just figuring out how the fuck to describe what you're talking about. Is this the same helicopter? Oh, there's somebody nearby me. He's like right on me.
Enemy UAV overhead.
There he is. Where's he going? Let's go see. He's laying down. Oh, here. I have an idea. Put a claymore right behind him. All right. Stinking helicopter, for crying out loud. That's enough of you. You're coming down.
UAV is being moved. RTB for resupply.
Whoa. Sniper fire.
I'm good.
They're gonna be shooting at me as soon as this thing goes. All right. We better move. Stay in the shadows. Snipers are afraid of the dark. All right. So, the compromise is that, well, it's not a compromise. The reality of this situation is that we're just going to have to, we're just going to have to live with it, because the reality is I don't need, when I am ADS, I don't need to full pull. When I'm ADS, left trigger, soft pull. When I'm ADS, I don't need to full pull my right trigger. I'm already ADS. So if I just get myself to not full pull, and it happens the most when I'm like sniping at range, and you know, I'll really smash that right trigger. And I don't know why I do it, because I don't do it normally. Like, I'm pretty good at like soft pulling when I'm firing. But for whatever reason, when I'm like sniper, I just bam. And that's what like screws it up, is because I'm full pulling or soft pulling, and then so I'm just and I can't even remember half the time which is the one that it doesn't work with, whether it's the soft pull or the full pull. But it's the soft pull when I think about it. But like in the heat of the moment, I can never remember. It's like, is it going to work right now, or am I doing it wrong? And that's the kind of thing you don't want to deal with too, is just that moment of hesitation, of having to wonder and remember if this is the right way to do it, or if this is going to work or not work, or get stuck in the action layer, or, oh, is this function accessing an action layer? I hope not, because if it is, then I might not be able to get, oh, boom, you're dead. Like, you can't think like that. It has to be reliable. And even this config, like, look at, I've got these 3 action layers, all from different things that I was trying, and I'm not using any of them because they're all unreliable.
Enemy soldier incoming.
I feel, it feels kind of lame still, like, complaining about action layers. But the reason I still complain about it is because it's just such a perfect idea. You know? It's a good example of the Steam controller at play. This whole idea of being like, well, look how cool this is. Look how perfect you can do this. Or look how clever this is. It's like, yeah, but does it work in practice? And it's not that it doesn't work in practice. It's like, it just doesn't work for me, or for real fast things, because there's a lot of things that I do use. As much crap as I give action layers, I use them a lot outside of games, you know, like in like DAW Steam controller profiles, or video editing profiles I've done for the Steam controller. Action layers are the saving grace. They're what make it all possible, is being able to have a ton of action layers. And in those cases, they almost never get stuck, because I'm never firing off things fast and crazy.
Plunder. The job's simple.
Yeah, the lame part, I mean, is just like, I get sick of hearing myself say, no, action layers are unreliable, you know? Like, in my own commentary, my brain, I'm like, yeah, you said this 1,000 times. Get over it. But I can't get over it. And again, it's like that fictional fantasy LAN party where Gabe shows up with the new Steam controller. You know, maybe he also says, "Oh, and by the way, we fixed action layers. They're shipping now and they work really well. So we want to give players the best experience they can have with Steam controller." And when he says that, I'm going to start crying. How the hell did I get this gun? Where did I pick this gun up from? What? Why am I holding this gun? Is that my gun? How did I pick... That is... How did I pick up a gun through the wall, through the window, through the wall? I don't know. God. I'm not a man of science. All right. So things are working, I think. I think having this having the melee thing, I think that's really going to work out. And now I need to jump back into Doom. And what's weird is like Doom is, I don't even know why. Like Doom just feels like such like an appropriate benchmark, you know. Why won't the window? Like, I swear, half the time the windows just, they're laughing at you. But I want to go back into Doom and throw melee or glory kill on that. Did you hear that? No. On right trigger full pull with the left grip. I think it's going to feel really good. And then also in Doom, I do have right trigger soft pull shift as one of the grenades or the throwable or whatever it is. No, I don't want to do that. I'm just messing with the button.
Extraction is standing by. Mark an LZ for pickup.
I'll take the wheel.
All right, where are we going? Let's go downtown.
Waypoint mark.
Yeah, Nemo, it's going to be a great party.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Enemy UAV overhead. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Oh my God, I heard the guy in the parachute, but then there was a guy inside. Jeez. That's a hot zone right there. Everyone wants to go shoot those zombies. They're loaded. All right, but before we do that, I think there was a train coming by. All right, if there's a train, I gotta get on the train. At least see if it's got any goodies on it still. Where is it? Where's the train? Over there. All right, let's see if I can. No, I shouldn't bother with the train right now. Yeah, don't do it, Ryker. Don't do it. We got zombies to kill. Yeah. So you don't want to just like get too focused on the zombies because there's dudes in here too. So you kind of want to like
I'm good.
be aware of the zombies, but then try to shoot the dudes if you can, because they're going to be distracted like a bunch of dorks. Oh no! I wasn't distracted. I was literally reloading. Watch. Hey, you see that? Just barely started reloading. You would have got me anyway. For the longest time, I had change weapon, swap weapon on shift right touchpad click. And in this game, any of the quadrants on the right touchpad would effectively swap your weapon. So it didn't really matter where you were hitting it. Having it on left shoulder is really working out well right now. It's weird. Like in the past, I haven't liked it. But what's weird is whether I like something or feel comfortable with something usually has to do with so many more factors than just the one. So it's a matter of like, what other buttons are surrounding it? And during the gameplay, what is the like you're always pressing combinations of buttons, even if it's not directly related to some sort of combo mechanic in the game. You're always doing some sort of combo. And depending on what those combos are, like in this game, right, I'm always doing a sprint, or sprint, tactical sprint, crouch to slide. I'm doing that very, very often. And you might not think about that and how that will affect your config. And so your config might sound really great until you take into account that particular combo, for lack of a better term.
Hostile dropping into the area. Hostile attack job and carry attack.
How do you fucking like it?
Who are you talking to? Where did he go? Oh no, he was sneaking around. Good for him. Look at, yeah, he literally was. Oh, he's sensing my heartbeat. What a creep.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
All right, let's get in here.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy dropping into the AO.
Requesting recon on my position.
UAV entering the
Oh, I got lucky there. gonna be busy up there.
Enemy soldier incoming.
He's right in there.
UAV is bingo fuel. Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Shit! Oh. Look at him. Oh. Look at all that money. Oh man, they got a lot of money. A lot of my money.
Secure all cash you find.
I think the hardest thing right now about this setup is remembering. Whoa, who's doing that? The field upgrade button, the soft pull right trigger. I got the muscle memory to hit it with the right bumper, but that's not where it's at anymore.
Area, watch the skies.
All right, let's go get that guy. Actually, let's see if it's settled down up here.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Oh, so much danger. Okay, we're gonna go downstairs. It's gonna be crazy. People are gonna be angry. You're probably gonna hear a lot of words. I think we'll be all right.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Go, 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 go! Oh my god.
Enemy UAV overhead.
No way. How much money did I lose? Was that 100,000? Was that 1,100? I mean, I'm not playing this round to win, but I always think of Santa, you know?
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Shit! Oh man! You look away for 2 seconds. Like that's. I think I want to do that one of these days. Just be a total zombie hunter. Focus solely on that zombie money. See what we could do.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Everyone's coming in right here. Gosh. It's that same guy too. So much money. Oh, why the Steam controller? Oh, geez. That's a long story. Well, I guess like to sum it up, you know, I never used a controller. I played with mouse and keyboard forever. I was a big ESDF guy. I was big into mapping stuff and tweaking things, and then eventually, you know, got into things like auto hotkey and Joy-Shock mapper and all sorts of little utilities to do fun things with controllers outside of games. Never really used controllers in games too much. Just didn't have an interest. You know, using mouse and keyboard, it's hard to embrace a gamepad when you're just used to mouse and keyboard. And I had no interest in it, in gamepads. And then eventually, I just went. I saw the Steam controller, and it was the first controller that ever really appealed to me. So I was like, all right, well, you know, Steam knows, or Valve knows something about stuff, so I'll see what they're doing. And I really liked the idea of like being able to customize stuff. And what ended up happening was I became more interested with building configs for the Steam controller than actually playing most games. And then that was many years ago, like when the Steam controller first came out. And at this point, I don't play anything without a Steam controller, really, except for maybe like a Nintendo Switch or if I'm just messing around with like a PlayStation controller or a DualSense controller or something. But I don't even touch mouse and keyboard now in games, like at all, for years. It's been years. And that's the weirdest thing for me to even say. That feels like so weird because I was such like a diehard like mouse and keyboard or die kind of guy. And now I'm like all about a fucking gamepad, you know? It's crazy. But you can hardly get yours to work half the time. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things, man. You know,
We're holding for deployment. Now's a good time to warm up.
it's I would say if you don't enjoy the process of getting your Steam controller to work the way you want it to work, because it's not going to work without a lot of input on your behalf. And for me, that's the point. That's why I use it. You know, I don't want something that I just plug in and play. That's not interesting at all. I want something where I'm really directly connected with the gameplay mechanics. I want to be able to make choices with my controls that change the way a game plays, makes it either more fun or more engaging, more visceral. What are the other buzzwords? More dynamic. I don't know. So yeah, for me, the Steam controller just adds another layer onto my gaming experience, and it's just a really stimulating layer, and I love being able to have this consistent component across any game that I play, and that is how am I going to be creative with the Steam controller in this game, and that's really what I'm playing games for at this point in the game, is to see what I can do with the Steam controller in the game and how much fun I can have with the Steam controller. But yeah, I would say for many years, it's weird. Like a lot of people are like, do you recommend a Steam controller? No, I don't recommend a Steam controller, man. Like for most people, it's almost like if you had a really badass muscle car, right? I won't. If let's just say you had a really badass muscle car, or a hot rod or something, right? And someone might look at that and be like, "Dude, why the hot rod? I had a hot rod and it got terrible gas mileage, and it was quick off the line, but top speed was just." And it didn't have power steering, you know, and it didn't have air conditioning. And I got this little Honda here, and it's got all those things, and it's more reliable. And how can I argue with that? I mean, that's totally true. But I'm not using my car to get from point A to point B. I'm using my car to spend time building and tweaking and configuring and ultimately having some agency in the experience of owning the car, right? That's the Steam controller. I'm not using the Steam controller because it gets me to the gameplay faster. I'm using it because it is a layer between the gameplay that I really, really, really enjoy engaging with. And I guess if I was to really boil it down, the one thing is, like, the biggest thing is the gyro. That's really the biggest thing that changes everything. The touchpads, obviously, I'm a huge fan, and I could go on for days about how much I love touchpads, but really, it's the gyro. That's where the magic is. And that's where I think it becomes worth the hassle for me, because the joy that I get out of using that gyro, the joy that I get out of pulling off, you know, like a decent headshot, is just, it's so immense, because it's connected to a physical exertion that I had to make. It's not just, there's something disconnected about moving my hand. Like, you know, it's still, don't get me wrong, it's super impressive. I love watching highlight clips of people, amazing mouse and keyboard players. I love it. And it's really, really, it's amazing skill. But I never got as much satisfaction or as much joy from nailing an amazing shot with a mouse as I do from nailing an amazing shot with a Steam controller. It's just a next level thing, and it feels like it's part of you, like you're part of the game, because you're literally your actual bodily movements are like affecting the game. And as a guy who's extremely into virtual reality, I would say that this is like, there's times when using a gyro increases immersion, not in the same exact way or to the same extent that VR does, but in a similar way, to where when you're in that flow state and you're not thinking about your config and you're not thinking about your sensitivities or whatever, you're just playing the game. Your brain almost starts thinking that you are like in the game because of how you are translating your desires and your wishes through the gyro into the game without thinking about it. Whoa, there's a lot of danger here. Oh, he had his buddies with him. Look at him. Oh,
Watch your six.
I should go back there and see what's up. Hey, Mine. It's good to see you. Gyro is so natural, you legitly nearly Hulk out when it's absent. I totally feel you. Yeah, and it's funny because like a Hulk out is a good, that's a good description, because it is almost like uncomfortable playing a game without a gyro, especially a game that you're used to playing with a gyro. Playing it without a gyro feels like under your skin sort of like discomfort, because you can't move, you can't control it the way that you want to. And it's almost like, I'm not a brain man, I don't know what's up with brains, but it's almost like your brain is now almost in a sense like paralyzed. Like it's almost like you've lost control of a limb, and your brain is like kind of like all fucked up because it knows it should be able to do these things. Because when I'm playing and I'm in that like zone, I don't think look to the right, move the mouse or whatever it is. I just move my hands and I'm looking where I want to look, and I'm doing it so much I'm not even thinking about it. And I think that because I'm not even thinking about it, my brain sees that as like a reliable appendage or function to consistently expect to be there. And then when it's not, it feels like I'm really off, you know? Yeah. I think the last time I did try to play a game, it was actually this game. This was the last game, one of the last games I used with a mouse. It was kind of recent, maybe a couple months ago. I was setting up another computer and I didn't have a Steam controller handy, and I was just testing stuff, and it felt really, really weird. I mean, that said, I'm not saying that like that's how it is like with a mouse and keyboard. Obviously, like I spent years with a mouse and keyboard, never felt that way. And you spend enough time with something, you're just going to get used to it, and that's all there is to it. But it's like the components of the hand movements. It's such a good element, such a satisfying element. Oh my God, that guy's got a gun. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, it is very much like like in the musical terms, it's sort of using a MIDI control. Dang, using a MIDI controller that has aftertouch, and then using a MIDI controller that doesn't, and then dealing with the fact that you keep pressing down and nothing's happening. Oh, I think squads of 4 is what's going on right now. All right, I just noticed the time. Doesn't even matter though, because I might win this. There's no way I'm gonna win this. You know that. I know that. But you never know. Anything's possible. Let's see if I can get in one good shot before it ends. One last shot. Who's the lucky guy? You. Good night. Come on. You. Good night. Nope. Oh, man. See, and I might have got it, and I screwed myself up because I did it. I did that full pull where it deactivated the ADS from my left trigger soft pull. I did it right there, too. We just talked about it, I know, but it's like, it's a really tough thing with that sniper rifle. I just want to bear down when I'm firing it. Only that one, too. I don't really understand it. But it's all right. So, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to keep that config the way it is. I think I'm going to keep things the way they are, because the only real problem outside of, having to build up some new muscle memory and sort of get over the old residual muscle memory is that little bug with that ADS kind of popping out. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a bug report. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And hey, maybe they'll fix it, I mean, they fix stuff all the time, so maybe that'll be one of the things. I don't know. That would be really cool, though. Because then, see, like, oh, I'm about to do it. I'm about to say it. Because then that config will be perfect. For what, a month? And then something else? But I mean, here's the thing. Like, we don't get to see how good the config is going to be in a month if we don't make the changes that we need to make to it today. Even if these changes get completely overridden. Not every part of the evolutionary stage creates lasting change, but rather building blocks. Something like that. Dr. Ravenholm would say it better than I ever could. Well, everybody, it's almost... Whoa. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning somewhere. It's crazy. I thank you all for coming and hanging out, and listening to me ramble on about the Steam controller and where to put certain buttons and what to do with other ones. In a crazy world full of crazy people and crazy times and crazy bread, it's nice to just chill out and play some video games with our Steam controller. And I'm excited for the two exciting events upcoming. Well, presumably. Our amazing LAN party with guest of honor Gabe Newell and his big box of Steam Controller version 2 prototypes that he will be graciously gifting to all of the guests. And the much more likely event, a virtual sleepover where we're going to stay up all night long and we're going to play video games until we fall asleep at like 10 o'clock. But still, that's something. Oh, hey, it's Nemo. Hey, Nemo. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. It says you're muted, though. I don't think I muted you. Did I? No, I didn't mute you. Yeah, sleepovers were so cool. I think. I actually never really did a sleepover. I never went on a sleepover, really. I mean, a couple, maybe, sort of, if you can call them that. But I watched a lot of movies on the Disney Channel, and they had sleepovers all the time, and they were so much fun. But I had sleepovers. What I mean is I never went to a sleepover, but I was the guy who always had people come over for the sleepover, you know? I was the one with all the Ethernet cable. Like I was the one with the 3 extra computers, so it's kind of by default. And I guess the LAN parties are sleepovers. Though we wouldn't do a lot of sleeping. But we would have hot chocolate. I mean, even when we were grown adults, we would still have the hot chocolate. Because it's not a sleepover if you don't. That's a space rule. I don't know if you guys adhere to that rule, but... Yeah. Crowding around a thick laptop with a connection to DSL watching flash animations with 2 other friends. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Watching little hand-drawn stick dudes fight each other. And Matrix references everywhere. All right, everybody. Mine, it was good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Meneth, Nemo, Citizen, Trap, Al, Wernetta, and anybody else out there watching. I hope you had a good night. I hope you had a good day. And I hope you have a good one tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate your company. And if you have time tomorrow, stop on by. We might still be in Warzone, honestly, just messing with this stuff and putting things through its paces before Warzone Wednesday, the big day. Also, put that on your calendars, everyone. This Wednesday is Warzone Wednesday, and you definitely want to be there for that. And any of you with microphones that you ever want to, and you're in the TRICOM, feel free to jump into the live voice chat channel at any point and hop on the air, say hello, hang out. Especially on a Warzone Wednesday, it's always a good time. We've got the TRICOM gamers in there, cutting people with knives, giving phenomenal direction to their squad, essentially saving the day. It's a lot of good vibes to be around, so I highly recommend it. That's every Wednesday here on the live show with Ryker, filmed before a live TRICOM audience. That's you. And you. But mostly you. No, it's you too. All the same. And Raid. He's still giving me the silent treatment. Either that or his software is locked up. Who knows? What is the silent treatment if not a frozen process? Unable to terminate, unable to resume. We've all been there. Well, have a good night, everybody. I certainly do appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow.